Hey everybody, it's Jake
and Jeremy,
and it's Morning Musume Monday, and this Monday we're going to be talking about...
As for one day.
As for one day.
There are so many things to talk about in this video. First off, from the previous video, the girls were on their way to an unexpected island of sorts, and after Kei tried to kiss Gaki, they shot her out of a cannon and decided to ditch her at the island. This is Kei's last song for Morning Musume.
Oh.
And unfortunately, the girls are stranded on the island for a little bit because it's reined them in.
This is usually what happens to me, is it's pointed out to me that this is a member's last song, and then I'm like, oh, but they were cute. But I've never noticed them up to that point.
You're like the typical American Morning Musume fan.
But you know what? I would be that way with just about anything. I honestly don't get worked up when, like, bands lose members or disband or something happens. Like, for whatever reason, I cannot get worked up about that. Like, my favorite band is a band called Breaking Benjamin. They recently broke up. I heard the news and I went, ah, bummer.
That upsets me because every single member is so important to the group. It does so much.
I know. And Abe, I'll be sad when Abe leaves.
Now, I think that there are a lot of dynamics that are involved in this video that I want to talk about. First off, the most important thing is that Rika is being shoved back into the center.
The one who started the song, the actual singing part of the song out, and it was all kind of... I loved the look, I liked the emotion behind it, but it was just so breathy. It was too breathy. Like, I felt like she was trying to be, like, breathy about it, but then she...
Second, we're seeing the, I guess, pullback of Ogawa and Konkon as they are sent to the back into the nether regions of the group, as they both got only one solo line each.
But Ogawa was the princess in the last couple of ones.
And she was the prom queen, but she didn't have any real lines.
No, but she's been focused physically.
She's been focused physically, and Kono got a huge push into it now, but the two of them haven't had a lot of lines.
But, I mean, realistically, Kono, from the get-go, was marked as the new member who really wasn't all that good. Ogawa is good, but I feel like she's more a pretty face than she is anything else. Like, she's a pretty face and she's a core member. A core member to me is someone who you can rely on, but is not necessarily someone you give solos to all the time. And you need core members to back it up. It's kind of like with, like, the Backstreet Boys. Like, you know, there was that one guy who always wore the sunglasses?
No.
There was I don't even know his name. There was, like, the one guy that nobody really knew much about, and he was just there, but he was a good dancer and he provided good vocals in the background. So you need to have core members who can do that, and I feel like that's kind of what Ogawa is she's a core member because she's a good dancer, she's a decent vocalist. She wasn't my favorite of the girls who auditioned to get in, but she's a good dancer, so she's a good core member, and they'll pull her out when they need someone cute and small and pretty, but other than that, like, she's there to add to the group, not to be a shining member of the group. There are other people in the group who have more charisma than she does. I just feel like she's kind of like a blank slate almost. Like, even when she, like, was told she was in, I feel like she was kind of like...
The third thing that I wanted to point out is that Yaguchi is getting a gigantic push now that Kei is leaving from the group. And we've seen this subtle push of Yaguchi all the way through her time in Morning Musume, but now we're seeing an incredible push from her that she had most of the single, and she was even doing some of the background stuff for it. Now, a few things that I do want to point out about the music video is there were a couple textural things that I didn't really understand that I'm trying still to figure out. First off,
why was there pop flute?
Pop flute?
The flute that was just having at it.
Oh.
That whole last part of the song.
The very first textual thing I noticed is that when the girls were doing their pair scenes, they would both be standing like this or facing each other, And one of them would be singing and you would hear their voice, and the other one would be singing at the same time, and their mouth would be moving, and it looked like they were trying to sing along with it, but it wasn't a duet. It wasn't even a harmony because you couldn't even hear the other person singing. So in some, there was Yaguchi singing here and she was like getting into it, and then Yasuda was right next to her and she was like doing the moves, but nothing was coming out. And even in some of the lives, you see that where some of the girls are like singing next to each other, but there's nothing coming out of the other girl. The other textual thing that I didn't understand at first was why they were in essentially a gigantic goldfish bowl. Now these were initial thoughts that I had, and as I was going through and kind of deconstructing the video and trying to make sense of it all, I think that the textual thing of having the other girl standing next to them singing in a non-singing fashion, I think that the point of that was to symbolize the relationship that's now crumbling. And I think maybe it was to represent that the other person is there but not really interacting with the relationship. And the goldfish bowl, I can't help wonder if the fact that there were the fish that were swimming around all awkwardly and
Pufferfish.
The pufferfish that were swimming around all awkwardly, whatever those fish were that were swimming around all awkwardly and would show up anytime the male grunt would appear into the song. I think examining that, I think that was supposed to be symbolic of the relationship, and the whole idea of the goldfish bowl and them being in this gigantic tank was that they were constantly being watched, or that maybe the boyfriend was constantly being watched, because there was a line that said, I was always asking you like a kid, do you love me, do you love me? And I can't help wonder if it was that the boyfriend, whoever he was under constant watch and supervision by the girlfriend, and so they had the fish in there to represent this symbolic way of talking about the relationship, how it was always like, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? The third thing that I wanted to point out that I thought was really interesting was that they used the reference of koi fubuki, which means it's translated out into love snowstorm, yet the girls were in a rainstorm.
Sure, they were singing about a snowstorm and it was a rainstorm, but I don't know. I guess if you're going to direct a PV, you don't want to go for the obvious and stick them in a blizzard. Besides, it's hard to make Uggs and sweaters and snow gear sexy. Rain is very symbolic to me. Rainstorms are very symbolic to me of sad feelings, difficult emotions, ends of things.
The fourth thing that I wanted to point out specifically was that this is a graduation single, and I'm a firm believer that all ending singles correspond with the beginning single. Summer Night Town was essentially a party song, but definitely had a
Smile, smile, smile.
It was a breakup song in many senses, and As For One Day is definitely a breakup song, or leading to that breakup. So I think it's interesting that it went all the way full circle into a breakup song to another breakup song.
Well, enough of that serious, deep stuff. Let's get right down to it, shall we? So, I like the setting. I had a few issues with this song. I'll talk about my issues first, then I'll talk about what I loved again. So my first issues was the intro with Bread-chan. Standing there, and she was talking, and then all of a sudden she stopped moving her mouth.
But yet the words kept coming out like she was actually speaking.
I didn't quite understand what that was all about. I loved the set. It was like a fishbowl that wasn't, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, they had the big circle thing above them that had water splashing and moving in a really creepy futuristic way, and then the bubble pipes going up, and it like was a fishbowl, then it wasn't, then it was again, then there were the big yellow fish just flying around in the air, so I'm guessing we're like in outer space again, because that's like a theme. I loved their outfits when they were standing in the rain with the umbrellas. I did not like the outfits inside the fishbowl, because they looked like, the only thing I could think of would be like when a little girl dance troupe does a number, and the moms have to make the costumes, and they make them out of like the cheap material they find at Joann's Fabrics. If you don't know what a Joann's Fabrics is, it's a fabric store. And I'm assuming it was started by a woman named Joanne. They looked so cheap and so basic, and like the idea behind them was cute, but I didn't like the colors, which I will call a salmon to meet you halfway. I said they were orange, Jeremy says they're pink. I will say they are salmon, which is both. They're just
That's what I said. I said they were salmon.
Whatever. Why are you texting during the video?
You were.
So, I didn't like them because while the design was cute enough, it was pretty simple. The fabric was just so trashy. It was literally like, you can go to any cheap fabric store and find that fabric for like $1 a yard. and it's just cheap looking. It looks like you know, my first dance recital fabric to me. That's the only thing I could think of. The styling was cute. They were made up really pretty. Their hair was all really pretty. The lighting was gorgeous. They all looked gorgeous, but those dresses just hurt me.
I agree that I really liked the other outfits, not the fishbowl outfits, better, and I particularly liked the senpai outfits. I thought that Kei and Yaguchi and Ida all looked gorgeous in the rain shots, especially Kei with like the bangs that she had, and like it was all pulled back, and she just kind of looked like broody and angry, and Mari just looked like she was gonna cry the whole time. But that pink, it wasn't really a tank top, but it was like this lacy kind of almost tank top thing. Just, it was very flattering for her, and I think Ida just looked gorgeous, and I haven't seen Ida look that good in a long time, and Do It Now was really the closest that she got from just looking very pretty, because I think that they tried to do this thing where they over makeup her, and that was very evident in the close-up shots where she just had so much makeup caked on and her hair was just like overdone, that I think that she has such natural beauty that when they just kind of leave it really bare and don't do a lot, she just looks so pretty, and I love that.
I liked the lyrics. I felt like they made more sense. I almost feel like Sunku paid attention to the last song and was like, oh, you mean songs are supposed to have structure and make sense? Shoot. And so this time, like, their structure, it made sense, and the lines were more fairly divided. It wasn't, you know, the awkward herky-jerky, you get a word, and you get a word, and you get a word, nobody gets a whole line. There was more, you know, line division versus word division, and the lyrics made sense, the structure made sense. As for one day, and I like the hook, I can sing that.
Okay, so last week we asked you guys, who would you make your pirate captain in Morning Musume, and what would their pirate name be? And these are the responses that we got.
My favorite response was from Anime Lover 417. The captain of my pirate ship would be Abe. The pirates would be asking, "Where's Abe?" And Abe would be nowhere to be found, which means we can literally do whatever we want on the ship without getting yelled at by the captain.
And my favorite comment was by that guy Shane, who said, I find this question really hard for me, but I'd probably want Ibon to be the captain, and her name would be Aye Aye Captain. I like that one, because I think that's cute.
H-Penny.
Aye Aye Captain. We want to ask you guys our typical graduation question this week.
Do you think that this was a suitable graduation song for Kei, and do you feel it tied in to her introduction song, Summer Night Town? I refrain. I'm learning self-control. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm Jake.
And I'm Jeremy.
And this has been Morning Musume Monday.
This has.
Itadakimasu!
Peace out.
Wait, what did
You messed that up.
I don't know, you do it.
Okay. Itadakimasu.
Huh!
Oh, I messed it up. You screwed me up. Okay, hold on. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Alright, peace out. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. We'll do it right this time. Alright. See you later. Peace out.
Huh! See you later, peace out.
Let's do it again.
Uno más.
Alright, see you guys all next week. Oh, no. Well, I'll see you guys every single day. Peace out. Itadakimasu. What?
Hito